it removes and keeps those piles away. And I like made up this saying like, a load a day keeps the piles away. Use something that the enemy would try to steal your joy from as something to whip it back around at him and be like, no, I'm gonna be sitting here intentionally praying for my kids instead of just trying to hurry up and get this done because I'm tired of doing it. I think it's so powerful. So. Hello. Guys, we're talking about laundry today. Never thought I'd make a video about laundry, but here we are. Why I'm talking about laundry today? A couple different reasons. Once you start laundry, you never finish until, you kind of go on to the next life. And the thing about laundry is that everyone has to do it. Like, that's the thing. Everyone has to do it. Unless you are a nudist and do not wear clothes, you have to do laundry. And so I'd say 99.9% of us have to do laundry. And this was one of the tasks and household chores that I used to really, really dislike. And I had so much anger and bitterness towards laundry. And it was so silly because it would ruin my day and it would dictate my mood. And like, I let it have such a stronghold in my life for so many years. And then suddenly I just was praying about it because I was like, Lord, this is so, why is this thing, this mundane task controlling so much of my life, or why am I allowing it to? And I really felt so convicted about it. And so I started praying about it, and the Lord just completely shifted the way that I see laundry, the way that I do laundry. And so I wanted to kind of share some of that wisdom today. And I've watched so many laundry videos and stuff, and there's so many ways to do laundry. And I know so many people, everyone has their own ways, but I kind of just wanted to share my insight on it because I've gotten to the point where laundry doesn't take me any more than 30 minutes in a day, and it's a very enjoyable task. I actually really look forward to it. It's something that I get so excited about, being able to care for my children's clothes, and the way that I've shifted and see laundry now is completely new. And so I want to share that with you guys today. So I have two verses that I think really highlight this, because sometimes a task like this that is never ending can seem so daunting, but you can see it as an opportunity to spend time and pray for your family, or you can just spend quiet time with the Lord. You can pair it with something that you enjoy. There's so many ways that I think that we can see the mundane of doing laundry into an experience that can be so joyful and beautiful. And so I really like this verse. It's Colossians 3:23-24. It says, whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters, since you know that you will receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward. And so I love this because there was a season where I'd get really upset at my husband for not acknowledging, or like if he didn't put his clothes away once I had folded it, like it would really upset me. Not that I was doing it for his appreciation or for him to like acknowledge it, but it kind of hurt. It would sting when he wouldn't be like, oh babe, like thanks for folding my laundry. And sure, yeah, that's nice, but like life moves on whether or not he acknowledges that or not. And so this verse really changed that, because it made me want to work for the Lord and not for whoever I was folding the laundry for. Like, the Lord sees everything that we're doing. And then another verse was 1 Corinthians 10:31. It says, whether you drink or eat or whatever you do, do it all for the glory of God. And that's another thing, like in these mundane tasks that we're doing, if you're doing it for the Lord, like it does not matter what else, it just like puts a totally new perspective on it. So I am going to actively be folding my laundry while I'm doing this, because I thought that was obviously very fitting. But I'm going to walk through some things that I have done and shifted throughout the last, I'd say truly a year, just because I really had to change things once we added another family member into our family. So once we became a family of 5, laundry really became something that did require more planning and preparation. So some practical things that anyone can apply right now, today, to make laundry more enjoyable would be to simplify your wardrobe. Once we simplified our wardrobes, that made it so much easier and enjoyable, because every piece that I was washing was a piece that was used. The pieces that we were getting lasted longer in the wash. They hold up better, and it was just pieces that our whole family loved. And it wasn't, it just simplifying the wardrobe made the whole laundry process a lot easier. Another thing that we did was having a place for everything, and everything has its own place, and made our systems for putting away clothes easy to do. Because if you have to put away t-shirts or if you have to put something away, and in order for you to do that, you have to open up this cabinet and move this over and then grab this thing and get up on a ladder and grab the thing that's all the way up there. If you have to do that, it's gonna make it so much harder for you to want to do laundry and put away laundry. But if you have a system that flows and is easy, it is so much more enjoyable. It's so much more seamless. So set up your closet in a way that makes sense for you. So for me, having the pieces that I use the most on hangers makes the most sense. I don't use t-shirts as much, I don't use sweatshirts as much, and those pieces stay up high. I don't use swimsuits as much, those are up high. Things that I don't need access to like every single day stay up high and in the way, and pieces I use every single day and want to see stay at eye level and are a little bit lower. My husband has a system, my kids have a system. For my kids, I could do a whole video on this. I'll probably do a Reels, but for my kids, the best thing has been these pull-out ones from IKEA, and they're really deep. So I just am able to just put everything right in there, and my kids are able to just get things right out. And another thing I'll do, because my kids dress themselves, so whenever I am putting their clothes away, I make sure to put what I just folded at the bottom of the pile, because my kids 9 out of 10 times just pick what's at the top. And so putting what is new and clean at the bottom allows like a full rotation of shirts, and so they're not just grabbing whatever's at the top, or else they'd be using everything that I clean every day. So that's a great system that has worked for us. Another thing, and if you get anything out of this video, let it be this: do laundry every day. Now I know you're probably like, you're insane, there's no way I'm doing this task every day. Hear me out. I first heard this from Sarah Therese, who's actually back on YouTube, so I'm so happy she's back. Welcome, Sarah, we missed you so much. She shared this, oh gosh, I don't even remember, like a couple years ago. And at the time I only had 2 kids, and so it made sense, but not too much. But once I added a third and we became a family of 5, I started implementing it, and it has been amazing. It makes so much sense. It removes and keeps those piles away, and I like made up this saying like, a load a day keeps the piles away. And it's so true, because when you have these giant piles, and I remember when I had my daughter Evangeline and I wasn't doing laundry every day, I was doing it once a week, the piles of laundry that we had, you guys, would consume the entire playroom floor. And it's so overwhelming because it's so much clothes, and then you're spending the entire day cycling things through and then folding them and then putting them, it just takes so much longer. But when you do a load a day, the loads are smaller, you're saving water, you're saving detergent, and you're saving yourself some time. Now there is mixed reviews on whether you should do a full cycle or a not full cycle, but my machine, and this would be specific to yours, but my machine uses way less water when it's less and a smaller, and I can choose how much and how full the whole thing is. And then I have to use less soap, obviously. And so maybe it is a wash, maybe it doesn't matter if it's a large load or not. Maybe it doesn't end up saving you money or saving water or whatnot. Well, it definitely does save water because it goes a lot less. But anyway, that's just side tangent. But we can adjust our cycle to make it a small load or smaller things. So it makes way more sense to do a load a day. So let me walk you through what it looks like. I need to stop talking with my hands because then I don't actually get any folding done. But I thought I'd walk you guys through what it looks like in a day for me when I do laundry that is maintainable, easy to do, not overwhelming, and can be done less than an hour. So first thing is I will do laundry every day except for Saturday. Saturday is my Sabbath, and I do take rest from household chores, and that includes laundry. So just know that 6 days out of the week, I am doing laundry to some capacity. Once I wake up, and this is truly like my routine, I wake up, get myself dressed, or maybe sometimes I don't even, I just go straight into our closet and I pull out our laundry basket, and then I go into the kids' room and I collect all of their clothes. I do separate my whites. Now, this is not gonna be a video that is very specific about like washing with textures, and instead of colors, doing textures, and separating this and separating that. I think all of that is lovely. That's great if you do that. But to me, that's just like a whole lot of mess for nothing. I do wash our cashmeres separate. There are certain fabrics of mine and Jordan's that I do separate. But other than that, like a t-shirt and stuff for my kids, like I don't. And our clothes are fine and in great quality. I truly believe that if you buy good clothes, they will last you. And so that's just what we've done, and it's worked really well for us. So the only thing I do separate out are whites. One of my hacks is I have a plethora of baskets. I have 5 laundry baskets like this one that I have thrifted and paid $5 for Go to the thrift store. I almost always find one of these, and they're very inexpensive, and they're the perfect size. They work so well. If you guys remember at my old house, I used to have a really large laundry basket that kind of was like a hotel style on wheels, and that was great. But guess what I was finding? I found that I was unwilling to do the laundry unless that entire thing was full. And that entire basket, you guys, ended up being 3 loads of laundry. And so the bigger the basket, the longer you're gonna wait. The smaller the basket, the fuller it gets, and the quicker and easier it is for you to just do a load. And so having a plethora and a large amount of baskets also helps, because I have one in each child's room. I have one in mine and Jordan's room, and then I have 2 spare ones that I'll keep down here when I go to transfer, because I always like having a basket when I'm folding to be able to put them back in, and I always love having one when it's drying to be able to put one in as well. So I'll gather everyone's clothes, separate the whites, and again, because I have a plethora of baskets, I keep whites just in one of the baskets in like our bedroom, and I wait until that's pretty full until I go to do it. I have a specific day that I wash bedding and towels, and that is Tuesdays for us. Tuesdays are the days that gets done, and so on that day, that is what I'm focused on, and the clothes will wait. So like Wednesday, there will be a little bit more clothing because I didn't do it the day before. But again, because it's so actively and frequently being done, it's not that big of a load. What else? So I wake up in the morning. I wrote this all down because I really wanted to make sure to be specific. I'll gather all the clothing. I'll go downstairs. One of the very first things I'll do is put something into the wash and get that started. Next thing I'll do is 99% of the time in my room or upstairs, I will have a basket like this of folded clothing that needs to be put away. And so because it's a smaller load, it's smaller piles, it takes me anywhere between 5 to 10 minutes. Not very long. So I'll go put my husband's stuff, my stuff, and all the kids' stuff away. And then by the time I'm done doing that, there's kind of like a lull. I'll get myself dressed. I'll get the kids dressed. I'll get breakfast started, get things going. And our loads only take 30 minutes because they're smaller. And so once that goes off, I toss it into the dryer. And now here's the key thing. Well, actually, I'll come back to this. Well, don't remind me because you can't talk to me, but I'll remind myself to talk about fragrances and dryer sheets and all that. I'll touch on that in a second. I'm filming.
Oh, sorry.
I'm talking about laundry.
It's kind of fitting since you've got a big basket there.
I know. Okay, next up. So far, we've woken up, we've collected the clothes, we put them to wash. We waited, we put the wash to dry. While the dry is going, I'm going about my morning routine. Most of the time, you guys, by the time we're done eating breakfast by 8, 9 o'clock, the laundry is done for the day. And so most of the time, I will be at the breakfast table with the kids and everyone, folding the laundry. And because again, it's a smaller pile, it takes anywhere between 5 to 10 minutes, and it's just so seamless. And once you get into the rhythm and the routine of it, it just comes so naturally that you don't even think twice about it, and it's done because it's small. Okay, I'm telling you, this has been such a game changer for me. And then I will put the basket with the folded clothes, normally like over here somewhere, and then it ends up upstairs, and then I unload it the next morning, and it just continues on forever and ever. And then I take a break on Saturdays, and then it re-continues and comes back up on Sunday. And so let's talk just more practical things too. That's what my day-to-day will look like. So yours can vary. I would say when it was just us, doing laundry every day didn't really make sense. But again, assess, because sometimes my husband will go through 3 outfits in a day. I don't ask me why, but that will happen, and his clothes are larger. So maybe it makes sense for you to do it every day. But I think every other day, or just getting on a routine. Everything in our house, you guys, is on a schedule and on a routine, because it makes it less overwhelming and less thinking in my mind of all the millions of things I need to do. If I know on Tuesdays and Thursdays I'm doing laundry, I'm like, oh, okay, great. I can kind of just brush it off my list, and I don't really have to think about it, and I worry about it on those days. And so if your house is not already on a schedule, put everything on a schedule. I even have my car cleaning and car washing on a schedule because it makes my life so much easier. So if you don't have a large family, I do think every other day, maybe every 3 days is a good system. But again, just pick a day and then just stick with it. If you are a large family and you're trying to figure out and want to do every day, what I would suggest to get to that point is to spend an entire weekend dedicated to catching up on laundry. Catching up and doing everything so your baskets baskets are empty, and then come Monday, you can start this new routine. And trust me, it'll just feel so much better. And when we go on vacation, it's so easy because we'll separate all of our laundry. And then once we get home, it's all done. All right, let's move on to some more practical things. When it comes to the washes and stuff that I use, again, this is more practical things. And I know some people probably have way more better routines, but one of our kids are really, really sensitive to detergent. And so when they were born, we did have to switch things up. We did all free and clear for a while, and we still do on occasion. All of these, you guys know, I feel like every time I need to buy laundry detergent, I buy a new one because I like trying out new things, especially laundry detergent, because I have to buy so much of it all the time that I try new things. I did Costco ones for a while, it's like a lavender scent. It was a more natural one. The only thing is they don't sell it anymore, so I stopped using that. We also use Earth Breeze, which are like sheets that are laundry detergent. I love those, especially for the really small loads. We also have used Charlie's soap. I love that one. That one is a great one. Sometimes my store has it, sometimes it doesn't. So that's a great option as well. I've used drops before. Those are great because they're just like small. You can just throw it in. Whatever it is that you use, just stick with it. But I do like to use ones that are more natural and unscented. So because I use unscented ones, I use dryer balls to put a fresh scent back into the clothes, especially when something is moldy. Let's say it's been sitting outside and it got crusty and dusty and nasty and like mildewy. Sometimes you kind of just want something to cover that up. And so I will take a dryer ball, and again, I'll use the color of it according to the color of what's in there, so the lint isn't getting everywhere, but I will put a couple of drops of essential oils on it, normally just like one little drop, and it makes everything smell really good and fresh and clean, but it doesn't have the harsh chemicals. And I buy it on Amazon, and so it's a really big pack of essential oils, and it's great because it makes it smell fabulous. It's really easy to do, and no one in the family is allergic or sensitive to it. So that's a win. And then, like I said earlier, having a basket in each room is great. It makes so much more sense that way. I'm over here trying to not fold underwear in front of you guys, but you know. All right, I think honestly, those are probably most of my practical tips. And then another thing, when you are folding, or because honestly, let's be real, the hardest part of laundry is folding it and putting it away. That's what takes the most. It doesn't really take that much time to like throw it into the machine and then throw it to dry. Like, we're not out here like doing it by hand, collecting water from a river nearby and like scrubbing here, running it through like all by hand. I would say the hardest part for me, or the obstacle that I had to kind of overcome, was folding and then putting away, because they always felt really tedious and daunting. But once I paired it with something I enjoyed, so honestly, you guys, there was a point where every time I would do laundry, I would give myself a little snack, or I'd like have a little treat. I'd have a cookie, or I'd make myself a really yummy coffee that I loved, or I'd have a popsicle. Like, there was a point where I was doing that to just make it something that I was looking forward to and enjoyed. Also, use it as a time to spend time with the Lord. Like, it is a quiet moment. Well, not really quiet. If you have kids, it's probably not going to be very quiet, but it is a moment that you are just sitting using your hands, and so your thoughts are free. And it became such an intimate moment that I get to spend with the Lord, especially if you're doing it before everyone's awake, that it is truly just a time that you really look forward to and that I really just couldn't wait to do. And so truly pair it with something that you enjoy. If you like to fold at night, do it in front of the TV while you're watching a show that you really like. Or if you're doing it during the day, turn on street lights and just listen to Proverbs. Like, there is so much goodness in Proverbs, you guys, that I feel like I could listen to it 500 times and never get tired of it. But pair it with something that you enjoy. Call or FaceTime a friend. Like, you and your friends do laundry together through FaceTime. I don't know. Do something fun and make it enjoyable. Another thing is, don't be afraid to do it at any time of day. There was a point where I felt like I had to do it at a certain time, and if I didn't do it outside of those times, then like something was wrong. I don't know. So for example, for me, one time that the thing that I do that would like seem kind of out of the ordinary is fold laundry while we're all eating breakfast. Like, I mean, there'll be like breakfast, my coffee's right here, and Jordan's like, can you not like fold? And I'm like, well, it just makes the most sense right now, because I was feeling really convicted about putting something to dry. and then having to refresh it or like turn it on again so the clothes were warm and didn't get all wrinkly. I would do that several times, and I felt so convicted of that because I felt like that was so wasteful, that I was like, I truly want to, like, when something is done drying, I want to be able to dry it within that moment while it's still warm. And so doing it during breakfast is normally when that lines up, and so sure, it's not the most conventional time to be doing it, but it makes sense. And then my kids get to witness me pouring and loving on their clothes and taking care of the things that we have and that we've been blessed with. Another thing that I do is I will pray over my kids' clothes. Now, this is something that is so powerful, you guys, and praying over my husband's clothes, praying that when they're wearing these clothes that they just radiate the joy of the Lord, that they just have so much peace and that they be protected. There is so much that you can pray over your kids' clothes, you guys, and it can be powerful and can be so intentional. Like, how amazing would it be that if all the women in the world who are over here folding clothes, if we took that time to be praying over our kids and our children and being intentional about our words and intentional about the things that we speak over our kids, like how powerful would that be to our kids witnessing that? You know, it's one thing to spend time in your prayer closet with the Lord and like spend that time in prayer, but like how much more powerful would it be for a family to witness us so intentionally praying over their clothes? Like, I have chills. I feel like that is such a beautiful testimony to the Lord and to our kids and to those around us. Like, use something that the enemy would try to steal your joy from as something to whip it back around at him and be like, no, I'm going to be sitting here intentionally praying for my kids instead of just trying to hurry up and get this done because I'm tired of doing it. I think it's so powerful. So that is my spiel, you guys. I never thought I'd make a video about laundry, but here we are. So I hope you got something out of it. I hope you were able to enjoy your laundry going into this week and that you use it as a time to just be so thankful that you have clothes that your kids are wearing and getting dirty, because that means they're creating memories and like are playing in the dirt and enjoying their childhood, and that you even have clothes for your kids to wear. Like, what a blessing that even is. So let me know what your laundry hack is. I know there's so many out there and so many different things. I didn't even talk about stain remover. That's what I meant to talk about, because I feel like every question I get is like, how do you get stains out of your kids' clothes? I put borax in every single wash, and then I use Folex, which isn't supposed to be used for clothes necessarily, but if there's something really grimy and nasty in there, Folex will get it out. I've also heard great things about Miss Mouth's stain remover. It's supposed to like literally remove stains like on the spot. I have not tried that yet because I feel like I've been able to really use what I have and like that's worked really well. But that is one thing that I've heard a lot of people rave about. So if you have a trouble with stains, I will link that down below because the reviews are amazing. Another practical thing, if you have a baby, because our baby does baby-led weaning, we strip her down. Like, she's naked and has a bib on when she's eating. Like, there used to be a point where I'd keep their PJs on, but then all their PJs were stained, and I was like, okay, let's just take it off. If your kids are gonna go play in the dirt, just take off the shirt. Like, there's ways around even just not getting the clothes really dirty, but at the end of the day, we don't store our treasures here either. And so if a shirt gets stained, that's okay too, because, you know, it's a shirt. So yeah, let me know what your tips are down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if there's something else that you want me to talk about that's like within the home that isn't traditional. If you got something out of this video and you start implementing it in your life and in your day-to-day, let me know down below, because I'd love to be able to see how this possibly could bless you guys. Love you, stay blessed, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.